Good evening. Welcome to the November 2nd, 2021 Board of Commissioners public hearing and meeting. And we are going to do the public hearing first concerning the budget.
Would you like me just to begin?
Sure.
Okay. So this is the 2022 preliminary budget information for the public hearing. As of this date, the assessed value and new construction values in Clark County are still estimates, and we have not received those certified numbers. So at this hearing, we will present the assessed value history and estimate for 22, levy rate history and estimates for 22, estimated property tax levy collection for fire and EMS, projected revenue and expenditures, and minimum fund balance information. So assessed value and new construction, you can see in 2022, we anticipate our assessed value to go up about 10%. This year in 2021, it went up 4.09%. We average about 8.89% through the period of the years of 2014 to 2021. So that if we do go with a 10.91% increase in value, we will go from 10,307,430,182 to an estimated 11,432,835,538 for 22. So new construction for 2022 taxes is currently estimated at 138,246,252. The levy rates, so the history of our levy rates from 2016 to 2020 is estimated in the chart below. The levy rate was restored to $1.50 per thousand in 2021 with the fire levy lid lift. The decline in the rate for 22 is due to the increase in assessed value. So as our assessed value increases, our collection rate declines. So in 2022, we anticipate that we will collect $1.38 for the fire levy and 34 cents for the EMS levy. For fire suppression budget, our total fire property tax collection from the levy in 21 was $15,466,071.07. And our estimated property tax collection for 2022 is $15,832,488.76. That's an increase of $366,417.69. For EMS in 2021, we collected $3.824,157.90. We estimate in 2022 we'll collect $3,916,557.07. That's a difference of $92,399.17. Our projected total revenue and expenditures, you'll see those down below. So total revenue we anticipate for fire is $16,176,489. Our total expenditures and transfers we anticipate at $17,567,666. So some of the major points in this budget projection are the fire levy calculation assumes the board will opt to raise the levy by 1 full percent in 2022. That's what we're limited to. $3 million is budgeted for transfer to Capital Reserve Fund 6258 to be earmarked for the Station 61 remodel project. That's because our bond won't cover the full anticipated cost. And the primary increases in budgeted expenditures include salary and benefits, supply, audit cost, and vehicle repair and maintenance. Fund 6242, emergency medical. We anticipate the total revenue in that fund will be $3,948,557. We anticipate our total expenditures for that budget are at $5,155,102. The EMS levy calculation rate assumes the board will opt to raise the levy by the full 1% in 2022. Again, the amount we're limited to. And then other than salary benefit increases and election fees, increases in the budget are incremental to account for rising costs. The minimum fund balance. So beginning in 2022 and the beginning of each year, we're required to carry over at least 35% of the estimated expenditures. That's to cover our first payments before we collect taxes, and that's both for fire and EMS. So the estimated fund balance or the required 35% balance that we require for fire is $6,148,683, and the 35% balance for EMS is $1,804,303. Other funds, below is the projected January 2020 balances for the district's other funds. So you'll see debt services, $17,237, capital projects $6223, which would include the new bond proceeds, is at $8,006. Reserve $6257, which we carry. We keep $100,000 in that reserve account, so there's $106,562. And capital reserve, which is earmarked for building and apparatus, is at $4,520,350. So that is the projected preliminary budget. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Just a comment, if we go for the EMS levy next year, there will be an increase of 11 cents based on next year's. That's doable.
Yes.
Any questions, gentlemen? There's a lot there. It's just a preliminary.
The $3 million that you're anticipating on moving over for the construction fund, that has not been solidified in its entirety, isn't that correct? Can we talk about the options, whether we're going to do the station and we're not going to do the outstation? If we don't do the outstation, there's a deductive cost for our construction?
Correct, but I thought a couple meetings ago the board directed us to just do the remodel of this station, and so that's sitting right at $10 million. So we would need the bond proceeds plus that bank capacity
because of the truck purchase.
Yeah. No, because the bond we will only bring in $7.2 million. So that's why we're putting $3 million aside to get us to 10.2 to cover all anticipated expenditures of the remodel of just this building.
Is the truck in there anywhere?
So the truck is accounted for. It's in the capital reserve.
Right?
So in that account, there's $4.5 million, and that's part of that $3 million plus what we.
$3 million comes out of there to finalize the construction costs, and then the remaining amount is allocated for a ladder truck. Is that
correct?
Yep.
Yes. So we're putting $450,000 in there per year.
Yeah.
To get us to be able to purchase the ladder truck at year 3.
Okay, I knew it was in there somewhere.
Okay.
Any additional questions or comments?
None here.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to close the hearing, and I'm going to call the regular meeting to order and ask you to join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do either of you have any additions to the agenda?
Not here.
Okay, we do have under old business. We're going to have Chief Newberry give us an update on our Pierce engines. On old business, new business, we have to do a bond transfer to cover our bond payment on December 1st. So with that said, we need to read and approve the minutes of the October 18th, 2021 regular meeting.
Can you make that motion to approve?
A second that?
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any correspondence? I didn't see any. Citizen communication, this is the time during our meeting we set aside for any citizens that might want to discuss any issues or have any questions for the board? Seeing none, committee reports, there are none. And so call your attention to the consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Chief's report.
So the first in the chief's report is the personnel action report. On November 15th, Commissioner Collins will have his 19-year anniversary as a commissioner with the district. Heather Gehring is currently on an off-the-job injury and on family medical leave. Sean Crawford is off on an off-the-job injury. Chris Bottomley is light duty on the job injury. Jordan Scott, light duty on the job injury. Josh Lawson on the job injury, and he will return to full duty on the 6th. And Amy Culver is doing modified duty due to COVID accommodations.
Priority 2, engine 61, hemorrhage or laceration.
Questions? Thank you, Chief. Facility update report.
So there is no facility update report today.
Okay. I have a quick question for you, Chief.
Sure.
Where they took a piece of building out to test it, how did that look? Is there rebar in it? Did they test the concrete? What did they do?
So they scanned the walls for rebar, so they know where the rebar is, and then the areas where they took chunks out, they took that back to the lab and did compressive testing on it to see the strength of the concrete block and the grout that they filled the cells with. And they're using that information to build their engineering plan in the 60% drawings.
So there was rebar and there
Yeah,
was grout.
it was as they anticipated it
Yeah,
would
it
be.
was, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else, Chief?
Just the COVID report, and we are tracking up with about an increase of 4.86%, 397 cases per 100,000 in Clark County.
Good. Old business staff employment agreements. We're going to go to executive session to discuss personnel performances, so we're going to wait on that. And the bond update.
I put in your packet the bond rating presentation that we gave, as well as our initial statement of where we were. The rating presentation seemed to go really well. They didn't have many questions for us other than that was presented in the presentation, and we will anticipate getting that credit score by the end of the week.
Okay. Yeah, it looked like a really great presentation here when I read the packet that you submitted, so nice.
And I was involved in that, and staff and the secretary of the board did a great job.
Oh, great.
Crystal clear, very few questions. Went really well.
Nice.
Did we receive a rating at that point?
We will.
Oh,
So
we-
right now we're at AA minus. I don't anticipate us going below that, and it would be great if we could go above that.
I have just one addition. I didn't get a chance to talk to the chief, but we're talking to Jim Nelson today. He said that it's likely that Standard & Poor's will present it to their committee either Friday or Monday. And we should have the rating shortly after that.
Right.
Thank you.
Great.
November 9th, joint board meeting.
So originally, Kathy Streisguth from Clark First sent out an announcement of the public notice joint board meeting November 9th to discuss Station 151. The address on that first announcement was Station 21. It's been amended and resent to be at Station 151. So I just wanted
I was going to do 151 again. I'm glad you said that. So
and that was from a motion from the board at the last joint meeting.
to do 151. Okay. I have one old business. Chief Newberry, I don't pick on you.
That's okay.
Could you give us an update on where in the heck our fire engine is, and if we're going to get it back soon?
6-44, yes. So 6-44 is one of the two newer Pierce Velocities that we purchased in 2016. One of them is stationed here, one of them is stationed at 63. There's some cracking that occurred in the pump house of the engine and had to be repaired. It went over August 10th, and between Pierce and Hughes and their body shop and us, we have been going round and round and round to get it repaired. We refused to repair, they refused to repair one time, Hughes did from the body shop, and then we refused to repair once when Brad went over to pick it up. It's been a rather tumultuous experience. However, we're picking up tomorrow morning at 0700, and it'll go back in service as soon as Brad's had a chance to go through it. And as a little bit more information, 645 has the same problems, and we are working together with Hughes and Pierce to not have the same delays on this one. We won't be sending it over until they have all of their documentation. Pierce has to approve every repair, and so if Hughes tells Pierce it needs X, Y, and Z done, then Pierce has to send it through their engineering and make sure that those they have to make recommendations back to Hughes on the repairs. And if the repairs don't go as they're planned or they don't work, then they have to go back. And every time you do that, there's a delay because Pierce doesn't really think that we're that important, even though it's a frontline rig. So it's been quite an experience, and I don't anticipate the next one's going to go this way.
I think 3 months is excessive,
I do too.
and I think that at some point we need to acknowledge our frustration. And I'm sure you have, but I don't think it would hurt if the board sent Pierce a letter and told him we were concerned about it. If you guys go to pick it up at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning and you reject it, then there's gonna have to be some damages to the district. I mean, maybe they should have given us a leased engine for the last 3 months so we could run it or something. I mean, it's for a premier fire engine manufacturer to have a piece of our apparatus for 3 months and get it sent back twice, to me, is not acceptable.
I would agree with you. Yeah, it's been an experience, and they understand fully how we feel about the experience. There's
Pierce or Hughes?
no Hughes.
I think Pierce should know how we feel about it.
Were
personally.
the issues that surrounded this engine, were they unique just to this particular model, or has Hughes navigated this? I know they have a large network of, dealerships and service areas, so is this unique to?
We've spoken to our own counterparts, and we haven't necessarily found these problems. And they, of course, tell you that you're the only one.
Of course.
Yeah.
But we have
As
two
soon as they
twins.
like it.
We have twins,
Right.
and they both are suffering the same
Yeah.
damage. So, yeah, they understand that that's. We find that coincidence rather remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being a lot nicer in this setting than I
So am I.
think. Yeah, I know. Brad and I have had quite detailed discussions with Hughes.
Well, since we're building 2 more of ours, I don't think it would be inappropriate for us to send a letter to Pierce telling them our concerns with these rigs.
Mm-hmm.
If this, the next one, they should be able to get fixed in a week or 2 if they have everything that they need. But I just think we should express our concern and let them know that we're disappointed in the process and how long it took, and we're good Pierce customers, and we expect better of that from them.
We paid a premium for them,
No, we didn't.
and we didn't have to. Hopefully the second one, the field representative has taken a look at it and identified it, and like you said, hopefully it won't take near as long on the second go around.
Field rep is scheduled for next week to come out and visit with Brad and go look at the rig while it's still in service. And then we've discussed having a very clear schedule, how many days it will take at Hughes. All of the preliminary engineering will be done while our rig's still in service here. How long it'll be at Hughes, how long it'll be at the welding shop, how long it'll be at the body shop, how long it'll be paint shop, marched out with a little bit of flexibility, but this has gone on.
Not 3 months.
It has gone on way too long.
Okay.
Well, if the board's okay with it, I'd ask the chief to send something to Pierce on behalf of the board, expressing our disappointment. Letting them know we have 2 more orders, and, you know, we expect them to take care of our 5-year-old equipment, just like it was 5 months old, so. However you want, I won't tell you how to word it, because I would probably.
Well, if the board remembers when we took delivery of those engines, they were out of service for the majority of the first year on warranty work, and some of that work was welding crooked and setting down the chassis on the electrical components. And so if you'd like me to include the frustration with that as well as
Sure.
what we're dealing with now.
If they want to continue it with us as customers, they need to produce product, you know, good apparatus for us. A little frustrating.
We've demonstrated our loyalty to them in several different ways, and I'd sure like to receive a quality product without these deficiencies, and the customer service needs to be stepped up. And they may say COVID, and they may say industry standard and all those types of things, and if that's the case, we don't have much recourse other than to go elsewhere. And you go elsewhere, you're gonna trade one problem for another. So,
Well, I don't think
Good
the
start.
repairs were not caused by COVID, they just weren't done right the first couple of months.
I'm just thinking of the timeline, you know, for materials and labor, and getting back from engineering and that type of thing. And everywhere you turn around, there's a COVID excuse. Who knows about labor? So I don't know if it's Hughes or if it's Pierce or if it's both or whatever, but may as well ball them all together, because we're the consumer, and they should be helping us out as much as they can. And if you think that Hughes has, that's one thing. Anyway, I'm sure you guys will figure it out, how to word that.
Especially if we're gonna buy a truck, so. We might do Roosevelt specs. Okay, thanks. I needed to say that. Thank you, Chief.
No, I'm glad you did.
I know you're working hard on it, but it just got a little frustrating, I think, to have a rig out of service 3 months, have it sent back twice to get it fixed, that's too much. New business. Life pack, we'll do life pack purchase first and then go to the bond transfer.
So we need to purchase 4 new Life Pack 15s. Because our equipment now is outdated, there's not the software updates for them. Stryker has offered to buy those back, mostly because they just want them off the market. And so they're offering a 50% discount right now if we were to purchase the Life Packs. So we essentially get 2 or 4 for the price of 2. They're very expensive. One Life Pack is, one Life Pack plus 1 at 50% off is $41,301.05. We can afford to make that purchase now if we purchase 2 from 6212 and 2 from the EMS budget. So if the board is willing, I'd like to make that purchase so we can take advantage of that 50% off discount. And that discount's greater than we could surplus those for.
Okay. What version are these replacing?
So Captain Simica could give you that exact one, but it's the Life Pack 15.
Oh, okay.
But it's the newer software version of them. So
Okay. So the original Life Pack 15 met its end of useful life, and now we're looking at a Life Pack 15 replacement for that one. Is there any way to get what happens when the next model comes along? Are we back in the same situation? What if that's in like a year, or do we know when the next models come out, or how's that work?
I'm not sure that they give us a heads up when the next models come out. These have been in service, I couldn't tell you how many years, but we do have a Life Pack budgeted replacement plan.
Okay.
And Chief Taylor, do you remember the last time we bought them?
I do not, it's been
Yeah.
years though.
Yeah.
We buy the AEDs often, but the Life Packs
Okay.
are a lot longer that we keep in service. But I could get that information from Captain Simica if you want.
Okay.
Any other questions concerning the light packs?
No, it sounds like the best deal available.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Thank you.
Bond transfer, chief.
So every May and December, we make a bond transfer from 6212 into our bond fund. I need to transfer $405,000 by December 5th to pay principal on the bond. Or, I'm sorry, December 1st. And that's budgeted for in our annual budget.
Is this something we can do tonight?
Yes.
Do we have a kind of a number for that?
It's just the bond transfer. Of $405,000.
I'll move that we do that.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any other new business? We are gonna go into executive session. Before we do that, in case people don't wanna stay till we're done, I'd like to roundtable good of order. And I had when we were doing the bond presentation, Chief Schmidt did a presentation on the new construction that's coming up in the district. There was commercial, apartments, residential, there was a lot of them. And I started thinking that I didn't know some of those were gonna happen, and I think maybe once a month, once every couple months, Chief Schmidt could kind of give us a report on what's on the books and what's coming forward and what areas of the district, so I know what's going on. Because what he had or what was in there, I thought was a lot more than I thought we had going on, and it was well done. And I just thought if the board's pleasure that maybe once a month or once every 2 months, you could give us an update on, because you're doing the plans reviews, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Quarterly.
Let us know what's going on and where in the district that's happening. I think would be helpful.
Sure.
I can't get anything out of the county. I still wanna know about 68th Street and the Hilton True. And what's the hold up there with permits or design engineering, or, it's all weathered in and it's been stagnant for, over 6 months. And they were going great guns there for a while, and then the sidewalk project between the city and the county on 68th Street was supposed to be happening, and I really can't get a straight answer out of the county, so maybe you can.
Yeah, on some of those projects, like, they run into snags depending upon contractors and ability to get workers, and just the process, between city agency and county agency not speaking the same terms. So, what I get is I get the plans for any new construction within the area that we get final approval on, and so that's what I'm tracking is just major construction projects.
After they're permitted.
So we're in the final phases of approval, and so we're looking at hydrant placement, FTC placement, apparatus locations, our ability to move around and access all points of the building and those type of things, and that's just our final approval process.
It wouldn't hurt.
Might I suggest the current list we have is 2 to 3 pages of projects. It might be best to start this in a workshop type forum, and that way Chief Schmidt could go over all those projects and the process he goes through to make sure that things are acceptable to the fire service, and then we could do
We can do that
update.
if he could just include a list in our packets, and if we had any questions, we could bring them out.
Okay.
I don't think we need to pick every single one of them, but the 400 houses going up next to 151, supposedly they're in for another 300 some houses west of 11th and south of 179th Street. The fair heard that, and we haven't seen anything, but it's stuff like that I think would be prudent for us to keep up on. So if you wouldn't mind, Chief.
Sure, love to.
I'd appreciate it.
Thank you.
The second thing is the Management Excellence Award. We got to receive the trophy. Obviously, the chief and staff did all the work on it. I just want to recognize you. I talked to Roger and one of the judges. 12 years he's been judging, and he said it was the most thorough entry that he'd ever seen. And hopefully we get it back. I don't know if you've contacted the office, they're going to send it back to us or not, but I won't be back up there till January and I can grab it then, but just kudos, you know, the trophy's really nice and we got to get it, but kudos to staff. I know you guys all worked on that, had your portions that you had to do, and then she pulled it all together, and there was a lot of comments from a lot of people on how well it was done. And really the nice part is, you know, the comps that our comps, we beat 4 of them. So that's really appreciated, especially Shoreline. I know we're live on the air, but that's okay. Anyway, well done. Thank you all for your hard work. It's a nice award, and I know it was a team effort, so thank you.
Absolutely, congratulations to the whole team.
Very nice job. Was there a press release made to the local media outlets or anything like that? I saw the picture on social media, but was there any formal release explaining what it was? And
Yeah, we sent a press release to the Columbian Reflector, Clark County Live, and then all the news agencies, and
oh, good.
as of yet, nobody picked it up. So, but yes, thank you. That was a team effort, and I do have to thank the board too for just giving us the freedom and latitude to explore everything that we've been able to do the last couple years. And I know without your support, we wouldn't have been able to do most of that stuff. So thank you.
Nice work.
Anything else before we go into executive session?
I have a couple things.
Okay.
So we are putting out our newsletter. It will go out the week before Thanksgiving. So Schmicky has that all set to go. The other thing is I saw in the Northeast Hazeldale Neighborhood Association newsletter that they're starting up Santa's Posse, and I just didn't want to be behind the ball if they need help, who to contact.
They're doing their own Santa's Posse? Or they
No, they're starting to get volunteers for Santa's Posse and that kind of stuff. So.
There should be a email going out to everyone who's helped in the past.
Okay.
I sent some bids to Commissioner Piper. He wants to help. So everybody that's volunteered in the past is going to get that email.
Okay.
And we're not going to wrap because of COVID. Everything's going to be put in bags, and everything will be, the food and the presents will be done on that Thursday night. I would assume, and Chief Newberry's always kind of coordinated this, and I suggested Commissioner Piper get hold of it. Come out and meet me on Friday. Pick your 50 or 60 families you want. Bring them back to the station for delivery on Sunday. That's worked well in the past. You don't want to be out there on that craziness on Sunday morning, trust me.
I just can't believe it's already time.
Yeah, right.
Like
We've been pricing food, and it's up, 15%. And the food bank where we usually buy half of our stuff, they have one item that we're going to buy from them. Everything else we're going to have to go to stores. When you go to Fred Meyer's and say, I need 1,250 instant potatoes, they go, we can do it or not, And the price is up, but we'll make it. We have donations coming in. Appreciate the district's assistance. I know Thursday night we'll have people out there putting boxes together, loading boxes and stacking boxes, and that's a big deal, and that helps a lot. We always have people during the week that trickle in, so. And I'm sure Walking Knock's coming up, so we got both those things happening, so. Anyway.
And then one last thing to get of the order is the district conducted a battalion chief test today to create an 18-month eligibility list. All 3 candidates were successful and highly qualified. Captain Reese is number 1, Captain Johns is number 2, and Captain Colleen is number 3.
Great job. That's nice.
Anything else?
Commissioner Lossbeck, there is one comment on here.
Certainly, thank you.
It was from James Harrington. It's a congratulations to CCFD6 on the recent management award. With the award proudly displayed, we hope the district will continue to move forward by setting policies and practices that meet or exceed industry standards in the services they provide. Again, congratulations and thank you from Jim and Holly Harrington.
Thank you, 5 for 5. Appreciate it. Anything else? Okay, as per RCW 42.30.140-4, we are going to go to executive session to discuss personnel performances. And with that, I like to think we need.
20 minutes?
Okay, we'll be back at 7 unless otherwise notified. Thank you.
We're on.
Oh, push the button.
Welcome back. We discussed personnel performances in executive session, and we took no action. I'll pass it over to Commissioner Pfeiffer.
With that, the board would like to make a motion to apply the following to Catherine Eterno, Brad Osborne, and Andre Dominiak's 2022 wage and benefit package. The following includes a 4.95% COLA, an increase of vacation by 3 hours per each schedule mark, increase in vacation maximum accrual to 500 hours, increased sick leave maximum accrual to 1,500 hours, an increased deferred comp to 6% of base salary, added longevity per schedule. This amount is less than in the current CBA and the Juneteenth holiday.
I'll second that.
Moved in second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The following will apply to Office Administrator Tina Mensinger, a 4.95% COLA, an increase in vacation by 3 hours per each schedule mark, an increased vacation maximum accrual to 550 hours, an increased sick leave maximum accrual to 1,500 hours, an increased deferred comp to 6% of base salary, added longevity per schedule that is less than in the current CBA, Juneteenth holiday, as well as a 10% increase in her base salary.
I'll second that.
Moved in second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 The following will apply to PIO, Public Education Officer David Schmidtke, a 4.95% COLA, a 2.5% increase in base salary, increased vacation by 3 hours per each schedule mark, an increased vacation maximum accrual to 500 hours, an increased sick leave maximum accrual to 1,500 hours, an increased deferred compensation to 6% of base salary, added longevity per schedule, the amount being less than in the current CBA, Juneteenth holiday.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Following will apply to Pat Claflin, a 4.95% COLA, added longevity per the schedule that is less than in the current CBA, medical and dental coverage for employee.
Second.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Following will apply to all fire chiefs, the fire chief and assistant chiefs. A 4.95% COLA, an increased vacation by 3 hours per each schedule mark, an increased vacation maximum accrual to 550 hours, an increased sick leave maximum accrual to 1,500 hours, an increased deferred compensation to 6% of base salary, adding longevity per the schedule. The amount is less than in the current CBA, Juneteenth holiday.
I second that.
Moved in second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And for David Taylor, Secretary of the Board, compensation of $950 per month.
I second that.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Commissioner Pfeiffer.
Did we cover Andre? Did we cover Andre? Okay, good.
Yep.
Thanks.
And with that, the 2022 salaries and benefit packages are taken care of for our non-voting union people. Did we need to take action on Juneteenth? We don't.
It's in there.
It's in there already. Okay.
Thank you, board.
You're
Well,
welcome.
thank you guys. Hopefully we've got everybody to where they need to be so we can work happily and prosper and be well.
Okay, we did roundtable already, so we need to authorize payment of bills, authorize monthly commissioner compensation.
Sorry.
Motion to do those things.
So move.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the meeting is adjourned.
Hot diggity dog.